Hello everyone to the Insider News, episode 2. So here we are today with our beautiful brand new product service that is thought for you. It's thought for our community. It's thought to make our Arabian horse lover community better. So here we are at the Insider News episode 2, a brand new concept that we started only 2 weeks ago. This is our second edition, and this project was really made just because we felt the need to talk a little bit more. So this is a space, an Instagram live, where we can actually talk about the news of our business, interesting topic, interesting content with professionals. We are not here to judge, we are not here to say what is good, what is not, but whenever we want to talk about something, it's very important to do it, and whenever we have a problem, to talk about it is the first step where we can start. So today I want to start this episode 2 and this live in the great memory of two fantastic people that unfortunately left us this recent week. I'm talking about, of course, Rebecca Vesti and Olga Rismer. I knew them two very well. They were two great passionate of Arabian horses. They were two marvelous souls. They were very positive, very passionate, and they did so much for our business. So I felt really the need to dedicate this second episode to them and in their loving memory. They will certainly be very, very much missed. But here we are, it's time to start our second episode, so let's go with our signature tune, and then I will bring you to all our content.
You're ready. Are you?
And this is the Insider News episode 2. I'm actually now in Uruguay, in the beautiful Estancia Las Rosas, filming a very, very unique project for 𝐈𝐍𝐒𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐑 with the great professional Olivia Strauch here with me and my fantastic Arabian Insider team. I cannot say much about it, but keep following us because something magic is coming. What makes the Insider News even more special, besides talking and sharing news, is that it can be done from everywhere, and it's really a method that can connect our Arabian horse lover community from all over the world. In fact, I'm in Uruguay. Today I will have guests from France, from Belgium, from Qatar, from Chile actually, talking about many different content. I'm sure you saw this design in our channel if you follow us. Let's talk about the content of today. So the Arabian horse in Chile with two guests today with us, Nicolas Duch and Christine Jamar. Then we will focus a little bit on the stallion spotlight because it's now the breeding season. And then we will have a stand-up content talking about art stand-up. Good or no? Johanna Ullstrom with us, Frank Holloman. We will see what they have to tell us. But for now, let's talk with... Let's jump into the content of Chile, that is our first content of today. With us, we will have Nicolas Duch, that is the president of the Chilean Breeders Association, organizer of the Chilean National Show that happened just recently. And then we will have with us Christine Jamar, very famous judge, very well-known and respected breeder of our community. She was in Chile judging, so I really want to know everything about what she thinks. And now, let's see, I see can jump into our first content of the day. We really wanted to go to Chile, by the way, but unfortunately this year we didn't manage to do so. Here he is, Nicolas!
How are you?
I'm very good, Nicolas. Thank you to join us at our Insider News episode 2.
Thank you for your invitation.
It's our proud to have you with us, and actually we are very, very honored to talk about Chile, that for at least the European and the Middle East audience, it might be not such a known content. So for us, it makes it very, very interesting. So it's really an honor to have you here with us. Please,
Sorry,
Nicolas, tell me something.
So, first, sorry for my English, huh?
No worries. Look, if I can talk and I can conduct a program or an Arabian Insider, everyone can do it. Because also my English is not good at all. So, Nicolas, please tell us something about your show that happened recently on the 25 and 26th of March. How did it go?
Yes. We have a very good show. I can tell you that it was a very good show with many breeders participating, with very good quality horses and large audience, mucho público. Everyone is invited to participate next year, where we will have more horses and breeders. Every year we're improving, and today we are an important benchmark in South America and Europe.
Tell me, how is the Arabian horse community in Chile? Is it big?
It's a bigger, not like in Brazil or another countries, but we have more breeders in a year. Today, the breeders to halter horses is like 15, 20 breeders.
Okay, that's great. For sure, breeding Arabian horses is not that easy in South America, especially in Chile, because of the fact that you cannot import so many breeding from international stallions. So this makes the breeding even more difficult.
Sorry?
Breeding horses in Chile is it's for sure a little bit difficult for the possibility that you have. But tell me,
I don't see. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Nicolas, can you hear me? We are losing you.
A little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Very good. So tell me, let's go back to the show. Which are your step in the future for the show? Which is your vision?
Yeah. We are very happy with what we have produced here in Chile, and we continue looking for ways to improve it, our breeding standard. You know, we work on that.
This is great.
You hear me?
This is great. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. So, Nicolas, we will try to be there next year, so that beside the live show, we will really be able to show all the world what is your show in Chile and how are the horses in Chile, and share this with all our community.
Yes, the horses in Chile.
Mi vedi bene? Hello, Christine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. I connected with you. Thank you to be here with us today.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's my pleasure.
You look fantastic, as always. It's my honor to have you with us. So, Christine, I invited you as I know you were a judge at the Chilean show. I was just now connected with Nicolas, the organizer. Unfortunately, his line was not so good, but you can tell us about everything about it. What did you see in Chile?
I must say the show was super organized. We had about 60 horses, 65 horses, but everything was very good prepared. The quality of the horses, you can see that every year they get better and better. So the youngsters were better than the ones who were a little bit older. The mare classes was also very nice. It was beautiful mares. And I know how difficult it is for them to breed because they cannot import semen. They could only import a few from Emerald and then also from some other stallions from America, but very few. Normally it's very hard. And what they do with their own breeding program, it's very good. And it's of course very interesting for us to see, like we have Canada who came over, to have different blood. So I think both sides can be useful. They can use some our styles and we can use some of them. And I think it's good to have different blood.
Absolutely. And after what you saw in during the show, can you tell us that there is a specific Chilean breed, or that they actually developed a different kind of type of horse, or no?
They have, if I have it right, you can see it's a mix between America and European style. So they have a little bit the same as Brazil. But they have type, this for sure. And this, I'm very happy for that.
This is great. So overall, your experience there was very nice.
Always was fantastic. Also, the people are very nice. It's like one big family. Afterwards, we had the farm tours. It was very exciting to see the mares. Also, the way how they take care of them, very natural, very kind. And everybody is like one big family. And of course, we got delicious food. So
and it's fantastic.
And
no, fantastic. You just mentioned the way in which they take care about the horses, that is very natural. What do you mean with that?
That they are kind with the horses. They have staff who when they catch the horse, you can see they are not scared. After chasing them, they just come to them and they can put the halter on and they can walk away with them, and they bring everything goes in a quiet, relaxed way. And then you can see that the horses were showing even more beautiful than in the showering at home. There was one mare, unfortunately, she didn't show well in the show, but at home, she was fantastic. So that was very nice to see that.
For sure, they have great pastures and a lot of green and grass, and the horse, it's just a beautiful environment for them.
That's true.
Okay, Christine. I thank you so much to be here with us. I think your words were precious for everyone that was not that lucky to be there. And let's see if the show can grow up and more people can go there and more cooperation can be done between South America, Chile, and Middle East and Europe.
It would be fantastic. And it's a fantastic country too. It's a beautiful country. So let's go all to Chile next year.
Let's go to Chile and let's keep talking. Thank you so much, Christine, and I hope to see you very soon.
Yeah, bye-bye. All the best. Bye.
A big kiss. Bye-bye.
Bye, big kiss.
So this was our little section about the Chilean show that just happened in March. Of course, we had some problem with the connection. Our Instagram connect all the world, but of course we depend on Wi-Fi. But what to say? So now I want to jump into our second content of the day, because now it's the breeding season. The breeding season, of course, everyone that has mares to breed, they really need to decide. I have the same problem. I'm there like thinking, oh my God, who I breed with who, and it's so much exciting, and also like it makes you worry and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to breed, but we all try to do our best, and I think that the best thing is to go with your soul. But here we are today because we decided to talk about three different stallions that were heavily promoted and also that are a little bit of a news now in our business. The first one that I want to talk about is Wakil Aljassimya. Why I want to talk about him is because Wakil was recently sent to Schiedam by Antonio Bautista and Philip Looyens. He is a fantastic justice son. So today I have the luck to have Philip Looyens with us, because I really want him to connect with me and tell me why they decided to actually get this stallion and breed with him. Because when you actually select a stallion and you bring him to your farm, is because your idea is to breed this stallion with many mares and not only one. So Philip is here with us. Ciao, Philip.
Hi, Francesca. How are you?
I'm very good, and you?
Very good. Sitting under a nice sky in Mallorca, so it's always sunny, and we're having a beautiful day, so all is very good.
I remember when I was there, you absolutely live in a fantastic place. So
Well, we are lucky. We are very lucky to live in an island, so it's beautiful life.
So, Philip, how the breeding season is going? I saw Antonia shared a lot of beautiful falls. Tell me about it.
Well, we're slowly starting. Our first babies are getting born, and so far so good. We have around 60 coming, so it's very busy between breeding, between foals being born, collecting stallions. It's the busy time of the year, I guess, for everyone, but things are going very well.
And you're also building a new farm, correct?
Yes, we're building and rebuilding and renovating an old property, which takes a lot of time, but it's very a job that is very satisfying for many reasons. So, yeah, we cannot complain. We're very happy.
Very good. But Philip, today we are here because we saw that you decided to bring Wakil Aljassimya to Shiadam. So
Yes.
tell me why. Why him?
Well, why? There is a lot of reasons. Maybe take away the quality of the stallion. I will maybe go. One of the reasons we chose him is not just because the way he looks, but I have quite a big history with his family. His grandfather, 𝐈𝐍𝐒𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐑, was as a young horse in training with me when I was still a kid in Belgium. And 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐒𝐿 went to Israel, to Ariela, to Gen, that obviously everybody knows. Made history for the Ariela farms, or maybe one of the, besides Lahib, probably the most important stallion that entered. So I had him as a young horse with me, and now by chance and luck, or whatever you want to call it, Wakil entered our lives one way or the other, and it's very satisfying to have him at the moment with us, knowing his family well, at least his sire line. So first of all, I am very grateful to Emma Maxwell, who was his former owner, to first of all give us the opportunity to lease him and give him a chance, especially in Europe, to breed high quality mares, to give him a chance, which he only has 10 foals on the ground, or 12 in England so far. So he's a very young stallion, but I believe that his future is going to be written in the books.
And tell me, which are his main characteristics? Because we only saw some pictures, so you can tell us more about it. For sure, he has big eyes, for what I know.
He has besides his face, which I will talk later. One of the first things I noticed when I laid my eyes on him is that he's extremely tall, which on the photos you don't really see, but he's extremely long-legged, which is a feature that I like very much in a stallion. He's close to 161 in height, which is huge. Yes. So he's an extremely impressive stallion when you just see him in the walk. And analyzing a horse in the walk, I'm not talking about teasing a mare, I'm not talking liberty, but you just see Wakil walk, and there is an aura around him that is hard to find, I believe, in stallions today. So it's one of the first things that attracted me to him, his walk, with his long legs and a very high set natural tail carriage, is two features that I like extremely much. When you go to talk about his head, well, it's extremely pretty. From huge eyes, from his head is a bit of a mix between his whole sire line and mother line. It's a perfect blend, I believe, between 𝐈𝐍𝐿 and Justice. You see really both looks. I've been around both his sires for a long time as well, and I really see features from both horses a lot. And then when you look at his pedigree, you go down to his tail female line, you see a lot of Padron Psyche through his ears. So yeah, I am a huge fan of Wakil, and we are extremely happy to have him with us. So
That's great. And can you tell us something about his future? Like, how long will him stay at 𝐍𝐄𝐑? Because I want to give a time to the breeder in order that
yes,
if you don't want to miss the opportunity,
yes, Wakil,
they can contact you.
Wakil will be with us during the 2023 season for Fresh Seaman. He's been purchased by Mr. Marcos Tinoco from Brazil at Asdaramsala. So he will be joining the great Veraz in Brazil, and I have to give credit to Marcos as well to be very fast and select Wakil for his future, because I believe he did a very wise decision to bring him over. So Wakil will be with us for the whole 2023 season. We will make frozen semen by the end of the year before he leaves to Brazil to serve whatever has to be served in Europe, but he's extremely busy at the moment. So yeah, things are going very, very well for the stallion.
Fantastic. Well, Philip, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. To all the breeders, if you want to use
thank you for inviting us.
Don't miss your opportunity.
Yes, they can contact us anytime.
We have only this year.
Very good. All my best, Francesca.
Thank you so much, Philip.
Thank you.
I hope to see you soon. And whenever you have videos or more updates about Wakil, send to Arabian Insider, and we will share.
We did a new photo session this morning, which will be released in about 2 days with his new photos. So we will see a lot of information about it soon.
Super. Thank you so much, Philip.
Thank you, Francesca.
Say hi
bye
to Antonia.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And this is it for Wakil Aljassimya. So as Philip mentioned, don't miss your opportunity, because he will be here, there at 𝐍𝐄𝐑 only this year. So actually you don't want to miss your opportunity, because next year it will be kind of late for European breeders. Okay, Philip, you can disconnect so I can go on with the live.
Okay. Take good care. And I will be following the rest. Bye-bye.
Grazie. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and we keep going on. This was our little section with Philip Looyens from Palma de Mallorca. I'm sure the weather there is fantastic. Listen to him. Don't miss your chance with Wakil Aljassimya. But now I want to talk more about the stallion, because one is, of course, not enough. And we're going to talk about our next stallion of the day, that is Mutabahi Al Hawajer. Why we talk about him? Because we have great news about this fantastic son of 𝐍𝐄𝐈𝐒. Mutabahi Al Hawajer is going to, you know where? You know where? I know where. So it's going to Poland. Beside everything, if you all that are following me, you want to, write me messages or comment there, just do it. If you have questions, just ask me, okay? Because I'm here for you and we are here to talk. So of course I'm doing the live, I have guests, we have content, but the most important thing is that we talk all together, because we are all a community. And so it's very, very important that we keep talking, we keep discussing. And if you have questions, don't worry, just ask, okay? We are here for you. Mutabahi Al Hawajer, let's go back to him. So, Mutabahi Al Hawajer is going to Poland, where specifically to Mykonos State Stud and Janow Podlaski. I was talking with the Polish State Stud why they decided to take this step, and actually they told me that they are very, very excited about this opportunity. So let's talk about the stallion. As I mentioned before, he is a son of 𝐍𝐄𝐈𝐒, that you all know, champion maker. 𝐍𝐄𝐈𝐒 did so much for our breeding in the last years, but also the mother line of Mutabahi. It's very, very interesting. I look here because I signed up some details, because I want to give you all the right information and I don't want to forget anything. The mother line is 𝐍𝐿 Magrumi. 𝐍𝐿 Magrumi is a beautiful daughter of 𝐍𝐿 Magnanimus, a fantastic stallion that had such big eyes, fantastic. And actually, so the mother lines comes from the very important Count Federico Thyssen, who bred all the grandparents and actually bred fantastic horses that also influence the breeding in Europe and in Middle East. Thyssen was the last owner of Elsha clan, and Elsha clan, as you all know, beside being a champion himself, because if I'm not wrong, yes, he won the European and Brazilian national champion, but Elsha clan is very, very well known for how much he did for the breeding, because you can find Elsha clan in most of the pedigree of our of the breeding of today. So this makes him very, very interesting. Mutabahi is now 5 years old. He is a champion himself because as a junior, as 2 years old, he was gold medal in Abu Dhabi. He was gold medal at the 𝐈𝐍𝐒𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐑 Arabian horse show. And then growing up, he still had beautiful, beautiful result, because as a 3 years old, he confirmed his winning status with a bronze champion medal in Menton. We saw him in Paris, we saw him everywhere, and now he's a very young stallion that can still do so much, you know, for the breeding and also for his owner. And now he's continuing his journey to Poland, which is very interesting. Why? Because Mutabahi is a fantastic, fantastic horse, especially in the head and neck. He has this refined head, beautiful neck, that the Polish breeders think could be a fantastic cooperation with the Polish lines, that instead they can bring this massive movement and charisma that the Polish horses have. So they are very excited, both Nicolas Duch and Janow Podlaski. They really thank His Royal Highness Sultan, His Royal Highness Prince Sultan bin Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, that is the owner of Samanaj Stud, that is the owner of the stallion. And they really think and hope that this combo between the Polish lines and Mutabahi refineness can actually bring to the Polish state stud some of these refineness in the head that nowadays it's very important to have, especially if you want to win big shows, because our breeding level reached a very, very, very high level. So this is all about Mutabahi, but I wanted to give you a little bit more. So we contacted Obi, that of course showed Mutabahi and knows him very well. And Obi said to us that for him, for sure, one of the main characteristics is this beautiful, very pretty face that he possesses. But one of the things that he loved most about this young stallion is actually his gentle soul and personality. So he told us that he is really one of the sweetest horses has ever worked with. He's a very young boy with a bright future ahead of him, both in the breeding and also in the showing. Obi told us that he has some pulse in Saudi, and also as a sire is proving him very well. So he's they call him Muti instead of Mutabahi. They say Muti is really known for the king of a type, and prettiness, attitude, gentle soul, and for sure features we can find back in his progeny. So we wish the best of luck to the Polish state stud, and I hope that this combination can really work for both Samanaj stud and Nicolas and Janow Podlaski stud. But now I want to jump into our third stallion of the day that we selected for you. We are talking about a very interesting stallion as well, that was just recently imported from Brazil, Talaal Serondella. You have to know that as soon as I saw the picture of this horse, I got impressed. Like I was like, wow, who is this? Who is this? You know, it reminded me straight away like the �𝐾𝐑 lines, and in fact is in his pedigree. And I just fell in love. So I said, okay, who is this one? And then I understood that this is the new acquisition of Alcor stud from Qatar. Brand, very important stud from Qatar, beautifully managed by Joe Rose, that saw this fantastic young stallion in Brazil, and he said, wait, this is mine, this one has to come to Qatar and has to come to Europe. So let's talk about Talaal. I want to share with you the pedigree of him because it's really, 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 really interesting. And it's also different from what we're used to see nowadays. That is very important, otherwise we all overbreed. So Talaal Serondella is a son of Shira de la Fon, that actually is in Belgium with Christine Jamar, that was recently with us in our live. Shira de la Fon is a son of Shanghai 𝐸, so VH Justice, Salima 𝐸. The mom is the Shira de la Fon that goes back to Kidar, okay? Very interesting pedigree. And on the mother line, he has Eliane El Judy, as you can see. Lugin El Jamal, Ali Jamal, and, did you see the name? El Dorada, that goes back to Enzo and El Dorada. So, basically, Talaal Serondella really carries with him the blood of some of the truly great horses of our breed. As I said, Justice, Kidar, Plakat on his sire line. In her mother line, Lugin El Jamal, Enzo, the legendary El Dorada, which is a Sanadik El Shaklan daughter that we all remember. European champion, reserve world champion, and a blend of everlasting beauties. Okay, this is the result of a really an outstanding pedigree. About Talaal Serondella, I want to share with you all some more pictures of him because you really need to see him very well. So we collected some pictures. Are you ready? Are you ready? Voila, here we go. Look at this. Like, what I think it's a very important, a very beautiful aspect of Talaal is it's actually his throat. He has his throat that he has this extra hook, you know, which is actually rare to find because not all the horses have, and it's really captivating. He attracts my eyes. And then he has, of course, this really refined head. Ears, the ears are just fantastic. This comes from Kidar, comes from Justice. I was speaking with Joe, as I told you before, that is managing perfectly the horse and Al Korstad. And actually, he told me that, because I never saw, unfortunately, Talaal in real, but he told me that he might be not the highest stallion, but of course he has very high horses, like tall horses in his pedigree. So actually the babies that he saw are absolutely on a good size. And also they have good eyes, and Joe told me that he is very, very happy about the results that he saw. And actually this is one of the reasons why Alcor decided to bring Talaal directly from Brazil to Qatar and now to Europe, because Talaal is standing at the 𝐈𝐍𝐒 training center. Why? Because Talaal Serondella was the previous owner of Talaal Serondella were Aras Serondella and Aras Arantiga. From there came also the beautiful colt Rakim Serondella 𝐾, that was Brazilian national champion colt in 2022, that absolutely proved that he has what it takes. Talaal now is ready to bring his quality on this side of the world and prove that there is power in elegance, and elegance gets always remembered, as you can see just from the pictures. So the new owner of Alcor were asked why the main reason why they choose him, and they would say that they choose him for the type that he can bring to the mares with his pedigree. Alcor found him in Brazil last summer. They were completely attracted by his babies as a yearling that were already born there, and the quality that actually he gave on the foals, and only added to the mares that he was bred with. So with Talaal Serondella, it's a new journey. As I said, he just arrived in Europe at 𝐈𝐍𝐒 Training Center. They are selling a limited selection of breeding. So if you want to get your opportunity, Al Korstad is gonna give you to breeders that actually have a vision, that actually have a nice pedigree for him, that can actually fit with a limited number of breeding. So if you think that you have the right mare, that you have a vision, and that you really like Talaal as I liked, well, go for it. Contact Joros and contact the 𝐈𝐍𝐒 Training Center. They sell frozen and fresh semen in Europe. That's it. I say ciao to all the core fans and Joros, and thank you for sharing with us all these fantastic content, because I think that in a moment like now, that is the breeding season, I feel the need, like as I'm just starting to breed, to really know something more about just this pictures that we see on the social media, you know, because you see a picture, then you don't see a video, then you don't really know how the stallion breed. So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to give you all some more information to be able to let you understand more and see if you can catch the right stallion for your breeding program through our insider news. But now it's time for our third content of the day. This is a stand-up. We decided, yes, to share news, yes, to talk about stallions, but we also decided that if we want to talk, we need to talk. Okay, so let's talk about content that not everyone might want to talk about it because can be a little bit sensitive, but we need to talk about it because, come on, it's our passion. So we need to talk about everything. And so here I am today with two fantastic people of the industry. Here with me, I will have in just a bit Johanna Ullstrom, very well known, famous lady from Belgium, from France. She has a fantastic farm. She's a beautiful breeder, and she has her way to show horses, train horses that we all know, based on love and passion. And then we will have Frank Holloman, directly from Qatar, that he has also such a big experience in our business. He's a handler, he's a trainer, and they both accepted my invitation today to be with me and talk about this content. Are the stand-up, is it good or is it not good? Let's see. So I'm gonna accept their presence here in the live with me. And as soon as I have them with me, we can start our beautiful conversation and hear their opinion about our content today. Johanna is here. Ciao, Johanna.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
See you.
Also for me.
Thank
And we
you
are waiting for
inviting
Frankie.
me.
I can hear you, yes.
We see Frankie's roof.
I see just the roof. Frankie.
Frankie.
Frankie. What is he doing?
We wait.
He probably was not ready. Well,
We,
Johanna.
when we did the test, he was checking every filter you have. So don't be surprised if he looks a little different.
I have to tell you that my team in the backstage wrote me a message saying Frank and Johanna were trying all the filters, so
Yes, we
be
did.
ready for that.
We did. It's the first time. I don't know about all this. So if you see me look different, just pretend like nothing.
No problem. But first of all, Frank has to connect with us, otherwise there is no
Yes,
chat.
yes.
So
Yeah. It
let's see, I
well
will
at the
try
test,
to
so, yes.
invite him.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's accepted. But hello, Frankie.
What?
Oh,
Hey,
You guys were
Frankie.
talking about me. I just got my invite. Yes. There. Thank you.
How's it going?
Fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic.
Now we
So,
see you.
Frankie, how are you?
We saw
I'm
your
super.
roof.
Do I need? Where's my what?
Come, dog. 1 second there. I'll let my dogs out there. They're barking at the road there. 1 second. Come, dogs. Up, up.
I don't know. I'm gonna change my filter.
Shinga, come.
How are you, Frankie? How is the weather in Qatar?
It's fantastic right now.
That's great.
You
So,
like
Sorry,
that
people.
first
filter?
of
I'm
all,
back.
so to make this work, guys, I'm gonna direct you two, okay? I'm gonna say who is gonna talk, otherwise we are all gonna talk on each other, okay?
Perfect.
So first of all, let me thank you for being here with me today to talk about the content that not everyone wants to talk about. But I think it's very important to talk about everything, especially to share knowledge with our horse lover community, and also because everyone should say whatever they think. So here we are today to talk about hard stand-up. You know that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna start asking you a personal question. Johanna, you start. Tell me about you. Tell me about your experience, who you are, when did you start with horses?
Oh, I don't even remember when I started with horses, but I think I'm in Arabian since 30 years plus. So that means I'm getting a senior in this scene. And I have, I am Swedish. I have stayed in Germany, in Belgium, in Luxembourg, and now we have a farm in France. This is so far the best decision we ever made. We love it here. So we have all our clients moved with us. So we have a big farm here in France. Anyone is welcome to visit soon. Frankie, Francesca.
I will come.
Yes.
Frankie, now
Me
it's your
too.
turn.
I'm
Tell
on my
me who
way.
you are. When did you start with horses? Why you are in the horses? Tell us everything about you.
Well, I think everybody in the horse world and Arabian knows who I am. Um, I started with Arabian horses. Gosh, I've been in it since for a long time. Yeah, for a long time. I started in America, of course, working with 𝐈𝐿𝐒𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐑, mostly for a while, a long years of my life, and a lot more Arabian farms, Atticus Arabians, and a lot of more people. It was a big Arabian community when I was growing up, and a big family with the Arabian horses. And now I've resided here in Qatar. I never thought I'd be in Qatar this long. I never thought I was coming to Qatar. Never even heard of it until, like 12 years ago. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And if anybody wants to come here and see me, this is where I'm at, Johanna.
Good. I was there. I didn't see you.
Oh yeah, we did in Qatar. I took photos of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's your turn, Frankie.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, now it's my turn. I'm gonna ask a question, okay? Let's start talking about the art stand-up, because I know that in the business there are so many different ideas about it. So my first question to you two, that you are a professional and you know about it. Tell me, what is the main purpose for standing up a horse? Johanna, you start.
I would say that the original thought was for the judge to evaluate the horse,
Right.
to see the horse properly from every side. And this is why I guess the horses were taught to stand still, so that the judge can walk around and have a good view at the natural build of the horse without the horse swinging around. So I assume that this was the original, before we went circus. That was the original idea, I assume.
Frankie, do you agree?
I agree. I think it started, this is a conversation I had with 𝐈𝐿𝐒𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐑. I think it was Johnny Johnston who started the stand-up with it wasn't actually a stand-up, it was a pose. I think maybe, if I'm not wrong, that he needed the Forbes horses to stand for photos. It kind of just happened. And it became a fad, if I'm not wrong, if I don't have this wrong from the conversation I had with 𝐈𝐿Ee So it was a look that worked, and that was happening in the photos, and it just became a thing from there. But yes, the horses needed to stand because they had a certain look. They generated a certain look, and you seen different parts of the horse. So yeah, I do agree with Johanna, but I think that's how it originally started, and it just became viral, and then people just started adding their own little things to it.
Okay, so the art stand-up, the stand-up, not the hard one. The stand-up, it's very interesting to know how it started. It's very interesting to know why they actually do it, and they also do not only the show horses, but also with the dogs and many other animals.
Right.
Why I decided to talk about this subject today is because I think that since the, let's say, whole days till today, the stand-up changed a little bit. The way of showing horses changed a little bit. And from a more natural look, let's say, that might have been in a few years ago, now we are going to a direction in which the stand-up, it's more and more and more stretchful for the horse. So, Johanna, what do you feel about it? Do you think we are going the right direction? Do you agree with it or no?
Right direction. I can never say what's right or wrong, but I struggle to understand where we see a better horse and how a judge can better judge and how we can aim to breed a better horse when we go to an extreme stand-up. Because when you try to breed a horse that has a natural carriage or that has a natural attitude, he will stand his ground proudly when he just stops and he looks at something. And I think this has been going into the extreme, and we on average terrify horses to look extreme, and also horses that are not built to look like having that carriage. So as from the moment that the horse stops to pose, he falls apart. And not only the way that the horses are trained, but also the direction the breeding is taking. We might breed horses that tend to spook easier, to be tolerant to harsh treatment, and without natural carriage and without movement, because we artificially make them pose in a way they're not built for. While when no matter which good judge walks into a pasture with 50 horses in winter coat, this judge is able to pick out the best horses in this group, no matter the pose. And I think we came to the point where we judge the pose more than the horse. And there is where the breed, in my opinion, is shaking.
Frankie?
I agree a lot with what she just said, but you know, for me, I do not ever myself, I'm going to talk about myself. I do know there's some extremities out there with the horses being schooled, because for me, I think that's when the lack of horsemanship comes in versus training a horse. And I think people get the imitation of their horse needs to look like this, and they go home and start doing all the unnatural things to try to get this horse to look a certain way. And then if you want to go back to, and I'm going to stick with my American roots on, I know there's many days and back in the years, you can say there was shanking and there was, because it was never done. It was being tried. And now it's all tried and errored, and you have horses that are actually being trained to stand up like your Ron Al-Shahani. If you go to use Michael Wyatt as an example, none of the horses for me are terrified. The horses show like gangbusters because breeding, they have the mind for it, and we actually look for horses that portray that ability and that have that attitude and those parts to get this look. And it's not just us, it's I think it has a lot to do with the owners and the breeders that want their horse to look like that mold. You know, everybody wants the stand up, they want the Marwan look, or they want the Hariri look. Well, like Johanna said, some horses are built to look like that. So it's easy for those horses to respond, to go to that next level, like a dancer, like a singer, to go higher octaves, and a cook to cook better than somebody else, because they're naturally talented to do that. It's there. But I think when the problems a lot of people run into with training the horses is they have lack of horsemanship, and they're trying to make horses do things that they can't do, imitating things that a horse that can do it mechanically by themselves. And I think that's when you run into the problem. And then there's always, they want more.
And do you think you can actually hide potential problems, potential bad looks that a horse has doing a hard stand-up? Like, for example,
Absolutely.
if the body might be not perfect, but doing actually a hard stand-up, do you think you can actually hide problems or no? Or this doesn't change?
Absolutely. Well, a horseman and a horsewoman, like you see here, we know what's there and what's not, you know. But yes, you can hide certain things, but you can hide them from amateur eyes. You can't hide them from horse people because we already know what's happening, you know. We already
You
know.
cannot hide them from horse people, but you can make judges choose which moment to judge.
You can absolutely, and then we have to fall back down to the point that we're at a horse show, so we can make this assumption, but when we're there in that moment, we have owners on the rail, and we're hired to do a job, and we have to make those horses. You and I know best. Look, they need to be out there looking to win. I mean, so,
and we have a breed to preserve as well, and it's the oldest breed in the world.
Right. But there's some good horses. You know, I want to use a horse that I showed. I didn't show. Philip showed him, and hats off to Philip's. Actually, his interview was amazing. I got to send him a message. It was fantastic. Amar, for an example, I saw this horse. The owner sent me this horse, and I saw him just plain sight on the video, and I didn't like him at first, but I didn't like him because I was looking for something else. But when I actually reviewed the videos over and over, I had to really think about preserving the breed and looking for a great horse. And this horse had all the parts. And there's no such thing as a perfect horse. I don't care who they are. But this horse was the epitome of, he looked more closer to the standard naturally than he did if he was in a hard stand-up. And I like that. And some horses stand up hard just because they do it. I mean, I can get a baby and start schooling him and just look at him, and it's like you think, you know, we've scared him with the devil or something. And then there's some horses and some breeding that just don't do it at all. And so,
can I ask one other question, Francesca?
Absolutely.
Go for it.
What
has the Arabian breed to do with the stand-up, with the hard stand-up? Can anyone answer that?
What do you mean?
What has
we
the
talk about
Arabian
other breeds?
breed, the breed that we are in? We are breeders. We have breeders around us. What is the breed gaining from the hard stand-up?
Well, I just think it's a fad and fashion. You got some things that people like and some things that people don't like. And a lot of people like the hard stand-up. Some people like Ford trucks, and some people like Mercedes and Bentleys. And even if they mask the look, changing the tires or the rims or the tint on the window, the car looks different, and that's what they like. And yes, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. I don't ever myself, you will never come to my stable and you would never see me, and excuse my English, try to make chicken salad with chicken shit. It's not going to happen. The horse needs to have all the parts to be able to handle the pressure, to be able to perform in the horse show and be happy, and not mean or kicking or biting, etc. It's got to be there. It's also the environment of the horses. And you go back down to people. And I like to use these analogies because this is the only way a lot of people can understand, is that if you can take a kid, like I want to use you, Johanna, as an example, because you would raise a child and a family, from what we know about you, the perfect way. But if you take your child who's come from this great family and put he or she in the wrong environment, that particular person or child can become a crook or a criminal, even a murderer. It doesn't matter if it's from a good family or not. It's all about the environment, I think. I think a lot of it is the environment, meaning where the horse is, how's it taken care of, what hands it's in, and, etc. Pedigree, it's all environment.
Okay, let's go a little bit into your own way. Johanna, tell me, how do you work with your horses? How do you train your horses? How do you stand up your horses?
Now, this is a very old breed, and this is a very intelligent horse, and it's a very willing, close to human horse. In my opinion, you do not need to harm this horse, and you do not need to make him scared to have him perform. And I do not harm my horses. And if I am alone in the world not doing that, I still think I am not wrong. I don't say others are wrong, but I like my way, and I like my horses to enjoy as much as I do. And I know that a judge judging my horse can see the quality of my horse as well as a horse standing up hard, right, or not at all. And I can, for my life, not understand why the norm is that horses must feel fear in front of a handler. So I do it in a way I like. And my ideal presentation at the show is when the public forgets who showed the horse, because the horse is the center point of the presentation. If you remember Eric, when he showed Extern, nobody paid attention to Eric because Extern was shining. And this is the presentation. What we have today is who won. And then we hear the name of the handler, and you ask, with who? Then you have the name of the horse. Maybe you know the sire, you do not know the dam. This is how little the horse has to do with horse show. And this is how little breeding has to do with horse shows. And that was my question. What has our breeder to do with the hard stand-up? Because they are not meat eaters. They are kind grass eaters. And they are willing to please. And I cannot understand why. I often get told that pictures and videos are out of context when horses flip over, when the handler moves his hand or his knee and the horse is rearing or flipping out. But there are more moments out of context than in context today. And why? And I also discuss with trainers, and I ask, because I know everyone since young age, most people loved horses. Put this love in a room, locked with a key, and threw the key away. And everyone I talk to know it's like this.
Right.
There is horse love somewhere, but it's put away, and we say this is how it works today. How many handlers are happy in front of their horses?
Frankie, which is your way? What do you think? How do you work with your horses?
I ride horses. A lot of people don't know. I'm actually starting up a riding program eventually here. I'm working on it. And I do a lot of groundwork with my horses. My horses start out with a normal halter and a normal lead rope, because the word halter means stop. Halt is whoa. They need to know the pressures of the pole, with both left and right side, below and above the halter. They need to know how to follow the halter. And when we say whoa, they need to whoa. And it's using the neck inside of the stable. It's a lot of serpentining left and right, so they can know how to pick up their shoulders. A little yoga for the horse, backing, getting them up under themselves. So when it's time for them to stand in the pose, because like I say, there's no such thing as a perfect horse. So all horses don't have the strength to be able to stand in the pose that's required today, whether it's a long spread or short spread or medium spread. This is something I analyze all the time. And we do a lot of groundwork with the horses, and we keep them happy. And we build from a state of mind, from meaning I work on the horse's mentality level. So I work with what I have. And when it's a bond, and when we actually get to the point where we need to go to level 2, then, you know, it's a different degree of pressure or whatever we have to do to get to level 2, then go to level 3. So it's just like for me training a horse, if I'm under saddle, if I have to, you know, make one do rollbacks on his haunches, lift up out of the bridle through his wither, you know, I do all of that with my halter horses. Babies, not so much. We do a lot of groundwork, but not to the point where we have to, because they're so limber already. So they really catch on faster than a older horse. I think if you bring me one that's 3 years old versus a 6-month-old or a yearling.
I think that we started from the stand-up, hard stand-up, you know, hard training program, whatever, because of course these are just few aspects of how the competition business, because it is a business we are in it today, require every year more and more and more and more on the lead of the extreme. And this reflects also on how the breed actually is developed. So the breeding choice, because of course are kind of set up from the shows, and also the way in which the horses that are born today in many parts of the world, how they grow up. Because I believe that I was not there, but maybe some years ago was a bit different. Instead, nowadays most of the people start to train horses for stand-up and for showing from when they are 6 months old. And maybe a few years ago, this was started like at least when the horses were 1 year, or, you know, just for the yearling classes. Instead, now we have the futurity, we have the foals, and a lot of really, really young horses are put in training as soon as they are weanling, and, you know, that are not even 6 months, but maybe even earlier.
And January classes also. January, February classes, so they are very young when they start their conditioning.
And when they do this, for what at least I saw, it's that a lot of time the horses, if they start to be trained so young, then they don't stay in the pastures, they don't stay in the field. But of course they stay in the box, because when they go out, they need to train and then they need to show up. So this is also a change that we can see today, and that it's related, of course, to the stand-up and all what we already said. So what do you feel and what do you think about those points that it's, I'm not saying it's good, it's bad, or whatever, but what's your idea? Johanna, go for it.
The youth of a horse is it's only young one time, and you see many horses growing up with very small feet, for example, because they never use their feet. You have horses with white line problem in their hooves, because they never walk properly on good ground. You have horses that are lame if they need to trot one full round on a not ideal ground, because they don't have tendons holding for it. They are launched as yearlings. And you have horses that do not hold to show as seniors without painkillers, because they had to go show their first years, and that's often the peak of their show life, the young part of it. So we don't think much forward. We don't think about the Arabian breed actually being a very healthy breed. When I lived in Sweden, and you want to make an insurance of an Arabian horse, you could insure him older than the other breeds. There were only 2 breeds in Sweden that you could insure at high age. One was the Arabian. And these days they do not hold. You have so many older horses that cannot hold for training, for normal training, because they did too much when they were young, before they had bones properly. So I think the way we do it, and to contain young horses in a 4x4 in a box, and maybe once a week, 2 hours out with bandages and going in a walker, we are just biting our own tail. We're gonna ruin the oldest breed that there is. It's damaging to train a young horse like that. You can show young horses. It's a very, very good practice for a young horse to go in a truck, to be washed, to learn to stand still, to go to a show, to be in a stable tent, all that, but in proportion to the rest that the young horse needs to grow up, to grow strong, to grow healthy, to be in a herd, to eat grass, to roll, to be out day and night. It's all of it. And I think we are in a problem because we go younger and younger in the age of showing. I mean, showing, when you ride dressage, for example, or you jump, you start easy classes. You jump 40 centimeters. You do a normal, easy program dressage, a few circles and a canter and a stop, maybe backwards. While a yearling who is maybe 11 months old needs to perform top at the World Championships, top, like the older stallions. This baby who nursed a mare maybe 6-7 months earlier. So we need to think about this. What are we doing?
Frankie, what do you think?
I definitely agree with the babies. Actually, I'm very, very, and have been for many years against yearling classes. I don't like them. I don't think they should have them. But for me, I've been very blessed here in Doha to have not pastures, but huge, nice, comfortable sand lots. My horses are probably the most well taken care of horses here in Doha, next to your bigger studs. And they go out all the time. They work, they go out. My stallions go out at, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning. They stay out until 5 o'clock the next morning. My mares, we rotate them. Those horses will go out a little bit on the walker for that day to rotate while the stallions are out. The next day, all of the horses, the babies go out together. Everybody, because listen, a lot of it's pilot error. A lot of it's the feed that people are feeding. A lot of it's the inexperienced grooms, horsemanship, with these horses being not growing properly, not going out, or don't want them to go out and roll in the dirt because they just washed them and braided their manes or whatever. That's rubbish. Horses are horses. I was driving through Al-Wab Farm one day and I saw the herd of zebra running through the farm, and I realized, and they were babies, brand new babies, just born 2 days ago. And I'm thinking, those horses never have to have a farrier. There's never a vet. There's never lameness. There's no colics. There's no founder. There's nothing with these freaking horses, these wild horses. And it, for me, is because they're out all the time. Not necessarily, I mean, of course, I keep my horses grazing on grass hay and, all the good stuff, but they're out all the time. They're moving. They're keeping the blood pumping through their foot, from the frog, through their legs, through their body. They're not just standing. None of my horses, you will never come in my stable. Not my best horses stand in the stalls all day. Not even, maybe they might have, after they work, lunged, dry, they eat their food, they're out in the paddock. They stay out.
You keep mentioning horsemanship, Frankie. For what I know, of course, horsemanship has different kind of branch and ideas and courses. For what your experience, do you think that in the Arabian horse industry, there are a lot of real horsemen that actually follow steps and horsemanship's program, or no?
No, that's a strong word to use. I mean, when I say horsemanship, you need to be, of course, I'm not old, I'm young, but you have to be my age or Johanna's age or someone, our young age, or, to know horses. You have to, like she said, go in a room, lock the door and throw away the key. There's a lot of things that I do, but there's also a lot of things that I know not to do. I know the levels of, I know what's good and I know what's bad, and most people don't know that. I'm in a country where they're just really getting to really know and understand the horses, and there was no horsemanship. And to this day, the horsemanship's probably exceeded another 10%. And you don't see that around the world. You know, Johanna rides horses. So anybody to me with a good soft hand that can ride a horse and train halter horses, they got to have some kind of horsemanship. Not just the person who's riding one, jerking around, beating it up or whatever, you know. And I learned a lot from the cowboys in America too, because when I grew up, I was only country. And that's where I learned a lot of handling horses, halter breaking horses the right way, cleaning feet, saddling a horse, teaching a horse how to load on trailers, working with difficult horses, mean horses. And some of those horses was just crazy. They were just out in the herd, you know, and they didn't want anything to be done with them, you know. And so we had to figure it out. You either die or you do it. And you need to understand, and you will do it if you want to understand this. This is an open mouth and insert foot moment, because people are going to say, see, this is why you should get married, because you need to learn how to understand the other person. No, I'm not. We're talking about horses. So yeah, understand that other person or horse. Then everything will come together like a puzzle, you know. But if you try to force feed something, it never works, you know. It just never works.
Johanna, now your turn. I know you do. I know you have your way, and actually you did also many classes that you can find online in the Arabian Essence Academy, which I think were very, very nice, because teach a lot. So
Thank you.
tell me about you. What do you follow? What is your horsewomanship way?
You know,
She's definitely a horsewoman.
I cannot give you anything firm, but I try to work from always being aware of what does the horse see when looking at me? What does he see, and who am I to think I can explain to him? If I was him looking at me, I would be so confused. And how can I do to be constructive and clear, so that he, first of all, have a chance to understand, and second of all, shows me interest and desire to want more? Because when it's like with people, if I have my girls in the barn and I can make them want to do their job every day, I don't need to check them and I don't need to force them. If I can make my horse, like I have Burj Al Arab, a justice son. He's my favorite horse to show in the world. And
I love
he
him
knows,
too, by the way.
he craves to show with me. It's the best he knows, and it's the best I know. And we train each other to want to be with each other. And the more I want, the more he wants. And we are eager to be together in the ring. And that's for me ideal. When I have a horse who wants, who really craves, and who really looks at me with eagerness, not worry, when I can try to aim for that and try to work towards that, it's not always happening, but when I have this as a goal, I know I will work that direction. And my horse is not going to sacrifice. He's not going to suffer for me, first of all, being unclear, or for me to master him to be my slave. When we can drop the case, I need to respect him as much as he respects me. And when the respect is equal, we can be a team. And that is my goal. No matter what I do with a horse, with a dog, with a person, when I can have equal respect, we can work. When one respects the other more, one is mastering. And you can work together and you can learn from each other without mastering. And that is, in big and in short, the way I try to work. No matter what I do with the horses, with babies, with stallions, with all horses.
So this was my next question. Like in my past, when I was very young, we had racehorse,ing Arabian racehorse,ing, and we had Arabian stallions that they loved to compete in racing because they just love the competition. So in the shows, the horses feel the competition and likes it as well in the same way, do you think?
The horse does not know that we want to compete, of course.
They don't
but Arabians are
that kind of
playful.
competition.
They have, of course, a horse has no idea he's competing. It's how can he know that he's competing? But he can feel that everyone around him is satisfied around a certain behavior, and he can learn to appreciate that and want more of that and search more in that direction. And this Justice son I told about, he's a perfect example, because he can stand to sleep while everyone else shakes bags around him. But when his groom that he loves just bend down to take the whip, he already throws his tail up when he sees her do that. And this is how intelligent these horses are. It's so much more to them if we can give freedom, and if we can give, you know, they are by nature very expressive. And again, I cannot see the reason why we have to remove that and then mechanically replace that with a pose that has nothing to do with the horse's own personality or carriage. To say it in short, because they have so much to give by nature, especially this breed. They are expressive. They have a lot to give. They give it for free, but when we beat it out of them, it's very, very, very hard to put that back. It will not be the same. When a mare trots, if you remember in Poland old times, the mares are trotting and they look left and right while trotting, while the tail goes while they trot. And they could do that on ice, in the mud, on grass, in sand, on stone. And they are so proud looking around. Today, you do not see many horses do that in movement. They will have one ear to the side where the handler is, and one eye to the handler, and they will trot okay. It's not many that can trot from A to B. Horses are in training for full seasons. It's not many that can trot straight from A to B, and one ear will be on the side, and the trot will be okay. But not one moment they will forget about who holds and just feel celebration of life. And that is my whole point. And this is my whole question. Why do we take this out of our horses with a hard stand-up? This is, and again, I don't say hard stand-up is wrong, because I cannot say I am right. But I wonder why we take the spirit out of a horse that is known to have spirit.
You have a very good point. Frank, what do you think? Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I agree and I disagree, because I have probably one of the best mares that I'm sure you won't have it on your farm. No one has it. I think I'm the only one that has her. And she'll stand up, like I always say, like she's got a gun to her head. And she does not, almost never get schooled. And her tail, and I do think they know when they're getting ready to compete. It's almost like a stallion getting ready to breed. When you can work around with him every day in his normal halter, and he knows. But when you put the breeding halter on him, he goes, oh my God, I'm getting ready to go breed. I mean, he knows there's something going to happen. And it's the same with this mare. I mean, if you go and look at her videos, her name's Amarantha, she knows when she's coming out of the stable, the tail's over her back, the neck, you know, she's just a freak, you know, and then she goes to the horse show and she's the same way. I mean, for sure you've seen her, the bay mare, Francesca, all the tails. She's the side of the horse show every time she goes in the arena, prancing. And so I don't think a hard stand-up, I think it's misused. You do see horses get schooled hard, and those horses get schooled hard because the owners, and they don't have it's the owners, and then they don't have the ability that I'm going to say like Amarantha or the Marwan horses. Those horses were bred when they were being found and they being sought after. Those horses was bred because they had an extremity about them, and their extremity was the focus. The extremity was the ability that they had to put a picture together that can say, wow, this can look different, you know? And that's what I think when the hard stand-up, as you say, got confused because everybody thought their horses can do it. And if they didn't do it, this is when things go wrong. They got aggressive. It became abuse. So back to me saying if they're not mechanically made to do their job, they can't do it. It's not going to be done right. You're always going to run into a problem.
But
you're gonna...
do you mean that only horses that are not mechanically made to do it have to experience the hard stand-up today? Or do you...
I don't think that... I'm sorry, go.
Or do you think it's the norm with a hard stand-up and horses that show fear? Which of the two?
You have some horses that show fear. You have people going overboard, but you can also see your natural horses that can go out and do a hard stand-up. Just like I want to go back to Ron Al-Shahania. You see a lot of great horses schooling, and they look really, really good. And then you see a lot of horses that they try to make look good, and that's when the stand-up gets confused. It's like, gosh, I don't like that hard stand-up. I hate the way they do. I agree. I follow it. But I don't think, I mean, I can school a horse hard and I don't beat the spirit out of it because I'm not breaking. There's a difference between training and breaking. And you'll still hear me say that. I don't, and I learned this from many people, especially a lot of horsemen. When you break a horse, you break their spirit. When you train a horse, you train them with what they have. And you keep the spirit, you keep the light. And I think a lot of the hard stand-up that you see on really good horses, their spirit is so strong that they put that much more energy into their work. When they're putting so much energy that they get aggressive and they start attacking and all of that stuff, then something's wrong. It's not from the correct way of training. It's from too much pressure to make something look like something that it can't look like. It's almost like a little girl or a young teenager looking going, I want to look like Tyra Banks, or I want to look like Naomi Campbell. So they stop eating and they stop doing all these unnatural things to think they're going to look like this person. And that's what happens with the hard stand-up. The people say, okay, I need to start doing this. I need to start doing that, or I need to start doing this to make my horse look like that. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it does not work like that through a horseman, because we're going to take the time to train that horse to build to those levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're not going to go from 1, 2 and then skip to 7, 9, and 10. That's when it's wrong. That's when it's wrong, So some horses, especially, and we like the spirited ones because they make it so much easier to school to get the look that everybody likes. I'm going to go to your field and I'm going to pick out the style of my horse. I'm going to go look. The minute you say, oh, she's a Marwan daughter or she's a Justice daughter or whatever, I'm going to go, really? All right, can I see it? Because I'm looking for certain attributes of this horse to know.
He's gone. No.
No, I'm back. I'm back. My phone's going crazy. So anyway,
So now you have to put a filter on your face just because we miss your audio.
Exactly. Each time we miss the audio, it's filter time.
It's filter time. I'll put this. This is a heart filter. What about that? That's the first filter that was there, so I put the filter.
How do you find the filters here? Right.
I showed you where it was already.
Yeah, but mine is gone. No, I find it.
There you go.
Wait, I'm going to put one for you.
You have to do it too, Francesca.
What's your
Oh my God,
Frankie?
Johanna's one is very.
You need a little light there.
Don't say the wrong thing, yeah? No, I take it off.
No, it was the doctor. So yeah, you just have to build, and I look for those horses because sometimes, listen, I like it. I've run into the many problems, especially here in the the Gulf where people brings me a horse. They'll see my 10 or 15 horses that's been in training with me for, I don't know, 3 years, and they look so great, and then they want their horse to look like that tomorrow, and that's an absolute no-go. The horse has to learn the steps. The horse has to be able to do what I'm asking it to do, and we both need to be working on the same page. There's no misleading of the stand-up, because a baby can stand my horses up. A child, I would love to come to one of your amateur sessions, because I'm telling you, it's a 1-2, we were trained like this in America. It's a whoa, step over, elevate, and show. It's just that easy. And if you start that at a young age, then you don't have to do all this other crazy stuff, you know. I know a lot of people that do it, but I'm against
But
it.
this is probably the point, is that if a horse, we will let the horse grow up more naturally maybe, but still like training them 10 minutes per day, maybe with a right horsemanship program, then everything else will also come a little bit easier when they grow up, because they will have more trust.
Right.
And they will know more.
Right. Environment, and sometimes it's just in the blood. It's like people. I don't care what you do with some people, they're just mean. And people want to go and try to get to the root of the problem, like, oh, it's something that happened with his childhood. That is the thing to say, but sometimes it's not. It has nothing to do with their childhood. They're just flat out mean. And you know, it's just what happens. And you probably want to sugarcoat it and say, oh no, this. No, you have good people, you have bad people, you have good horses and you have bad horses, you know. And it's just plain and simple. And a lot of the breeders who know their horses, especially back in the day, even before I started, they know what they had. And then that was the more naturalist time of halter horses. I mean, if you spoke with the late Tom McNair, he would say, I love this horse, but this horse is just flat out mean. Can't do anything with it, but it has beautiful babies. But I'm sure something hereditarily is going to have to take after somebody. You know what I'm saying? So when you try to put any kind of pressure on a person or a horse that's already naturally mean, get ready to fight.
Okay, guys, I think we need to close, because it's already we are already 30 minutes over than how it was supposed to be.
We like that. That's what makes it more interesting.
But we knew this was gonna be a very nice conversation, and of course we are not here to solve the problem of our business, but I think the talk about this all, and be able to share your opinion as two very good professionals with whoever decided to follow us was a good choice, because at least people can hear and they can decide to follow and whatever they like more. But at least we talk about it.
It's good we talk about this.
Right.
Just normal discussions.
It's normal discussion.
Just open eyes and wake up reflection. Just reflection. Because so many people do not even reflect. And so many new people do not know any difference. And so I have someone new in my barn. He's so surprised that Arabians are so intelligent and soft and easy and calm, because he has seen on YouTube how it works.
Right.
And this, you know, there is a space for everyone. And this breed, what we have, is unique in so many ways. And I think we should care for that. We can show on an elite level, but we cannot forget what they are. We cannot put that away. We cannot lock that room for what they actually are for so many hundreds of years. We cannot forget. So thank you, Francesca. It was a good discussion.
It was a
thank you
very, very, very good discussion.
Thank you for joining me, and you know, we can just provide
to continue this, I guess. And I ask all you trainer guys that will be so quiet now, maybe to join next time. And thank you, Frankie.
I'm always game to talk about something. This is my little
Yeah,
corner now. Always call me because I got a lot to talk about.
So a lot of windows next time, not only two.
As I said also the last time, for everyone that is watching us, and also for you, Johanna, for you, Frankie, for everyone, if you have content that you think we should talk about, like breeding, like today was the art stand-up, whatever you think that can spread knowledge, that it's interesting, that are things that we need to talk, please let us know, because we are absolutely willing to take this channel that we have and this the initiative to speak with everyone and try to talk, communicate, share ideas, give pills, as Johanna says, at least to think about it, and then everyone, of course,
think
can do
about
whatever they want.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
perfect.
if you have ideas, let me know, and you will
happens.
always be my favorite guest.
Now we will try to disconnect because it took me 15 minutes on the test drive.
I think you just got to press. I think you just got to press the X mark up to the top of your screen.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, Frankie, but it was not the case. So
really,
I will try.
Well, I think I'm gonna. Well, no,
I'm
you just change your filter.
Guys,
now, so it's okay.
you can stay connected with me. Just put filters on your face, and I'm just gonna close this fantastic episode.
Perfect.
Thank you so much of every one of you that followed us, watched us today with all our news and guests. And I'm gonna wait for you all in 2 weeks, because we're going to talk about what happened in Janow Podlaski. We're going to have the president, vice president with us to talk about the current situation in the Polish state stud after what happened just recently. Is going to be a very important and interesting episode that we decided to do, actually, because we had a lot of requests to update people and share with every one of you what's happening in Poland. That it's very important. So keep watching us, keep following us, send us your comments, your ideas. Johanna, Frankie, thank you so much. You are two amazing partners, and
thank
I hope
you
to
very
see you
much.
again.
Ciao,
everyone.
ciao, bye,
Bye,
bye, Johanna, bye,
Take care.
Francesca. See you.
Bye.
Bye.